Captain's log. Wow, it's filled. Ooh, Captain's log 007. Captain's log 7. Um, I do believe that's what we're on. I always I always get lost in the mix on these ones. Honestly I need to start tightening up for being honest. Um, but jumping right into it. Ah man. So long week. What a week. What a week indeed. As you guys can see, I'm in a different spot. I'm converting one of my rooms into a media room, whatnot. If you checked out some of my Blender videos, you would have seen it. I just can't make it to the office today. I got some other things to do. Celebrating a birthday tomorrow, so I'm going out today. So not doing too much, not going crazy with it, but I'm not going to the office today. Um, so yeah, I'm not gonna make this a huge. This isn't gonna be like a huge. Man, it's not gonna be. It's not gonna be crazy. Um, it's just. I guess it's just insane. I'm thinking just now. Just kind of like really thinking about it. It's hitting. I don't really do the birthdays, but I think it's just. I feel like I'm definitely hitting that milestone, which is cool, But what a way we've come. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's just a surreal moment for myself. So yeah, moving past it. Um, I was working on a script, kind of sorta, that I was talking about. So I think I'll be connected, or I'll be starting that next week. Because I think if you saw my video a few days ago, I'm gonna do a bit of a posting schedule change, right? So on Sundays, I'm gonna do the Sunday talks. I think we can, my captain's logs, right? Because I feel like I gotten used to that. And also Stories of the Moon. I'm doing those on. I think I decided for Wednesday. I think I decided for Wednesday for Stories for the Moon. I did think Monday, but I wanted something to do in the middle of the week, so just I decided to do Wednesday for that one, which is coming along well, by the way. I am trying to muck my way through the first chapter, so it's just it's been convenient. I'll talk about it on Wednesday, but I'll talk about my trials and tribulations about it. So I won't stress it or anything like that. But um, and also Blender. So I'm trying to do Blender. I'm looking to do about an hour or two a day, somewhere in that range. Just to give myself a fresher, and I'll talk about that. I'll talk about that later in the video, but those will be the biggest changes. And I think, like I said, for Sundays, Sunday talks, our captain logs, and I'm going to start, thinking not necessarily scripts, but I think topics, just to kind of stay on track. Just reviewing some of the videos. I think I talk a lot, which is I don't really care, but I do want it to be in a sense focused, So that's just me. But yeah, I didn't really have too much to talk about today. Just to be completely honest, didn't have that much going on in terms of actually doing anything or talking about anything. Because I just feel like for me, it's been a week of planning. It's a full week of planning, and what I'm gonna say, it's planning is important. I think planning is probably the most important thing that you can do. With your own business and things like that. But you still have to have the capacity to pivot. I think, in my opinion, right? And so that's just really what I've been doing. I do a lot of pivoting, but when you have an idea, I feel like you have to have the simple notion of saying like, yeah, I'm going to do X, but this is how I'm going to do it. And so I think I won't go too deep on that because I think this is like also it's a that's like a statement that I feel like I have to prove, right? Because I think the one thing I've been seeing a lot on it. And I think I've been getting the algorithm's been pushing a lot of make money content towards me, and I'm not saying it's never really affected me. But you know, it's I think the more I feel confident and comfortable, in my own plan, the more I kind of just kind of I'm not gonna say detest it, but I just feel like I wonder if they're bullshitting. You know what I mean? Like I just feel like to me, how how feasible is it if you teach everybody to do the business the same? I don't know. I'm not gonna rant about that because that wasn't really the point of why I brought that up. I just really had something to say. Just it's just you gotta learn how to pivot. And I think that you really just can't get discouraged, and your mission to the top. And that's just kind of like I'm gonna say that's where my Blender videos come in. So and I was talking to someone the other day about just doing the videos and things like that. And what I was just kind of telling them, I mean, because my thought process, and this is, I think, to me, I don't really care much about, the quality of the videos or anything like that. Um, I care about doing, like, just doing them. You know what I mean? And I just feel like because this isn't something that I typically do, right? Like making videos, taking time to do them. Like mm, I think I consider myself an architect, right? Like I put together crazy plans, and I have to be able to fit. If I can direct, I'll direct. You know what I mean? But I gotta be able to physically do them, right? Like I gotta be able to. If I put together plans, and actually, I'm gonna actually say, before I even got to that stage in my life, because that was a skill that I learned, to build it around me. I used to create, plans. So if I was hustling, I think hustling and building a business two different things, right? Like I'm prone to hustling. I've always done things to make money. Like I used to sell soap out the car. You know what I'm saying? T-shirts. Accessories. I used to sell all types of stuff right out the car. Right? Just pull up on somewhere, get to selling stuff. Right? It's kind of I used to hustle. Right? But then and eventually I was kind of like I got more interested in businesses. I mean, you can always hustle, you can hustle forever, but when you want to get some business in, I feel like it takes a different kind of sense, right? And so it's I'm not it's not really I don't really have like an endless well of information around me of just how to like run and build business and things. So it's like a lot of it's been trial and error. You know what I mean? And I think when I first kind of started like the whole business direction, I built businesses around, the notion that I know other people had to contribute. But the problem with that is when you build your business around other people, if those people don't have the same drive or tenacity that you do, you kind of, you know what I'm saying, you kind of assed out a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, because productivity will fall, things won't get done. Everyone has a different vision. It's just it's a whole plethora of things that kind of just come to fruition in terms of building your business, right? Because no one's going to see your business how you see your business, right? And so for a long time, I built my business around that, which no shade, no anger. You know what I'm saying? Like it is what it is. I learned valuable lessons from that. But after that, I started building business around things I can specifically do, right? And so fast forward to today, you know, it's been me building my business around what I can personally do, right? Like I have to be able to physically do it, and if I need to learn something, I need like I know to do this publishing company. Let's just take that for instance, right? Nothing in this publishing company um require has it's I'm not able to do anything in this publishing company besides the business the marketing aspect. I do great with marketing, right? The business aspect I do fine with that. Like business wise, it's structured fine. Um, but on a technicality level, like I can't code. I can't. I mean I can, as we're seeing. I'm relearning 3D art and things like that. but I'm not great at it. Yeah, I'm not. I would never. I could never just teach somebody how to do it. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things. But also, what was that? Coding. I can't code. Um, I don't know if that was the first thing I could say, but I can't draw, code, 3D art. Um, what else was required? What else is in there? I think that's it. I think those are like the three big things: draw, code, or do 3D design. Right? Like my strengths go into marketing, business, and just creativity and storytelling. You know what I'm saying? Like those are my strengths or whatever, right? But they don't really transition over well, right? But you know, it is hard. I think I think there's probably like a level of ADHD, in my head or whatever the case is, undiagnosed maybe, right? Well, of course, right, undiagnosed, but whatever. So it is hard for me to stay relatively consistent, right? And so the one thing about it is I feel like when getting into uh, building this business around me, like, because like, it all falls on me to do it. I'm not bringing other people on. I'm not, telling people about it or not really. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just doing it. So I'm just doing enough where I can do it, right? And so when you break it down, for me to stay consistent, that's where the YouTube kind of came into, right? It's like if I can consistently do something, I make sure I can do it, then I'll stay consistent in learning it, right? So like the book was important. So once I get the first book out, we're going fucking crazy, right? Like it for one, it gives me a product to sell, right? A product to promote, a product to market, right? And when you have that, and I'm gonna break down the sauce to be honest, because I feel like if you made it, what is this, 10 minutes into this, so you probably like listening. So my thing is, this is the strategy, right? This is my strategy, I should say. Let me drink some water for this. So you got, for me, anyway, writing the book is the first indicator, you know what I'm saying, to what I want to do, right? Like I said, it gives me a product to sell, right? A product to market and a product to promote, right? All beautiful things. Um, and when that becomes like so, that's when you kind of um, that's when you sorry about that text message. Um, let me just turn this off for now. So when I have those components, right, it opens the door, to step into a bigger vision, right? Because from the marketing and the sales and things like that, a couple things happen, right? I'm able to build a community, right? And I don't want to build a community over an idea. I want to build a community over around a product, right? Or something tangible. You know what I'm saying, that people can kind of invest in, or not invest in, but buy and see and talk about all these things like that, right? And so I also gives me the opportunity to talk about the project, not just the product, but the project, right? So when I write the book, so the story in the book is tailored around um, the, I guess I would really say the origins, right? The origins of the project. So that's where the book kind of like sits into. It's not like the origin of the, when you read the book, you'll understand what I mean. But you know, this is basically the first book series is the catalyst for everything to come, right? In the physical, literal sense too. You know what I'm saying? Like the stuff that happens in the book becomes a direct um, it becomes like a direct line, branch, bridge to the other things, the video games, the different stories, the shows, the animated, everything, right? And so it bridges all that together, right? So it's basically the origin point, right? As the catalyst to kick everything off, right? So when I put together this book and put it out there and start marketing, right? Again, I can start talking about the project more, not just the one book, right? Because it's like, when I talk about the project, I tell people like, oh yeah, look, look, check that book out. Read that. Go ahead, read the book. See what you tell me what you think, right? And if they read the book and find and get interested in it, and they go, well, I want to know what happens next. That's what you really want. You know what I mean? That's the bread and butter. And so, um, yeah, I just thought about. I know what I'm gonna do for the title for this, but anyway, yeah. So that's the bread and butter, right? And so at that point, that is literally just me doing stuff by myself. Like I know I can do, that level of work on my own, right? I don't have to require it to anyone. And then my thing is like when the book comes out and I'm selling, getting sales for the book, if people like it, right? Hopefully we get sales, fingers crossed. Um, to me, what ends up happening is, damn. What ends up happening is I can bring on more people. I can just hire people, right? So instead of like asking people to hey believe in my vision, you know what I'm saying? I can just hire people to, you know, get certain stuff done, right? Artwork or maybe start a comic series or something like that, right? Something chill, you know what I mean? I might start like I may do like an 8 issue comic, you know what I mean? See what people think about it, right? And so much can kind of pop off from that point. And if I can bring on like certain people, like if I can bring on artists and things like that, right? Like what is what is it like? Damn, I'm trying to think of what the term is. Comic artists, manga artists, some stuff like that, right? Like if I can bring on people like that who can do the drawing. I can make the story, right? And so that's a 2-man team. You know what I'm saying? And as we get more into the project, as we get bigger and bigger, bigger, I can start slowly adding on because it's easier to bring on artists than it is to bring on an entire coding team, right? Because I don't even know how many people that requires or whatever, but um, so I'm not gonna tell you all. I'm not gonna tell you all the secret sauce, but what I'm saying for you right now is to say like this was me, making a plan that directly involved around me, right? And then putting in systems for myself so I can stay consistent without, because it's like I think a lot of people get stuck into that, um, that cycle of it's hard to stay consistent without that cycle of gratification, right? You know what I'm saying? Like people saying, "Oh, good job, you're doing great." That support that everyone looks for. You ever seen them fucking them posts? And they'll be like, what the fuck did I say? Like when you're building it, versus when you made it, right? Like them fucking posts and shit like that, right? And so it's just to me, it's a level of damn. It's a level of commitment involved. Yeah, I don't whole blank right there. It's just a level of quick commitment that's involved. You know what I'm saying, to stay focused. And so I mean, everybody's gonna be different. So everyone needs different vices. To me, if I consistently do something, it becomes a habit. So like making these videos on Sunday becomes a habit, right? And so I try not to plan nothing, early in the day because I'm like, hey, I gotta make these videos real quick. You know what I'm saying? Boom. Also with the um as I keep saying, every video, right? Stories of the moon. I keep doing stories of the moon. It's like, oh yeah, that's a bet. Boom, 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 boom. I'm writing every week, so I know I got to write a story because I don't want to keep making videos and not be writing any pages, right? And because I won't have anything to talk about, right? And especially if I'm not even working on the book, I really won't have nothing to talk about. Because if it's one thing if I'm working on it and I get like writer's block and I'm like talking, making videos, talking about like why, like where I'm stuck at, then I can kind of feel like, oh, I might be able to talk my way out of that writer's block, right? And so it'll be able to help me stay consistent. And so like I said, we'll talk about Wednesday, what's been kind of got me stuck. But you know, same thing with the blender, right? It's like, I could. It's easy to say I'm a sacrifice, an hour or two a day, to learn Blender, right? Just as easy as it is to say I'm gonna work out for an hour or two a day, right? Easier said than done, always. And so with me doing with me doing the whole blender thing, right? It's like, yeah, every day I'm on here, I don't really do much, which I think, I don't know how other people learn Blender. You know what I mean? But I know when I get on it, I don't want to. Oh, I used to just sit there for like 8, 9 hours a day, just sitting and just learning tutorial after tutorial after tutorial, and never really let anything sink in. And so I'm like, you know what? Nah, what I want to do now, I want to do it step by step, right? I'm gonna take it easy. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not in a rush to learn because I don't want to. I don't intend to get hired by nobody. I might do some freelance work maybe, but I had no intention of getting no job as a 3D designer. You know what I mean? And so it's just simply put that like it just works for me. It's that's my system, it's my vices. It helps me, complete my tasks, right? And so eventually, I guess like a year from now, right, the book might be done. You know what I'm saying? Like the book just might be done. I really had to unrealistically go, oh, you read a page a day, you can get to a book, blah 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 blah. It's hard. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to write a page a day. I mean, you putting together a story, and what's helped me with the story is breaking down the outline, right? And so when I get stuck, but I'm like I can't, I got to get unstuck because I can't skip it because it flows the story, right? Because you can't have a break in the river, right? It has problems, right? So I just think that like when you just get into certain things, it's just really at the end of the day, it's just you have to create vices that work for you, right? You have to create a system that will help you stay consistent, right? This is why I don't like, even with making these videos, like I don't care if they don't get any views. I don't care if they got 1,000 views. It's just like I'm just doing them because that's what helps me and my vices. And when it kind of comes together, right? Like when I get stuff going, because you do get better with time, right? You get better with time. No matter, I mean, I mean, no, I ain't gonna say about everything, but the more you do something, the better you should be getting at it, right? And so at a certain point, I'm gonna be good on the tutorials, right? And it just be kind of like my day-to-day Blender shit, right? Like I might, so instead of doing like an hour-long video, right, on like just learning the tutorial and shit, I might just hop on for like an hour and two, start working on some projects or something like that, right? Play some music, you know what I'm saying? The music be better, all types of things, right? And so it's kind of like, oh, okay, that would be bad. That's gonna be dope, right? Even with the book, right? You know what I'm saying? I might get to a point where I finish the basic outline of the book, right? Um, I might finish basic outline of the book because also what I intend to do is send. I'm writing the story myself. Like I write the story, but I'm thinking I'm gonna send it off to someone who knows how to write, you know, books, right? Like a good author, right? To basically fill in the gaps. And so, when I have that, I can talk about that. So I can talk about those kind of updates and things like that, right? Instead of just talking about, the everyday, chapters or stories and things like that. So you kind of like my content will evolve because it's more of a in the motion kind of situation, right? So it's not really going to hinder. It should always get better. And to a certain point where I feel like, maybe when I get enough money, I don't intend on learning how to do video editing. That's another thing too. Like I don't intend to learn how to do that. Like I would rather hire somebody who knows how to do video editing and go from there. You know what I mean? Like I want to hire a great video editor and then call it a day and he just edits all my videos, right? So it's just certain things I just don't intend to learn to myself at all because it's you gotta focus on what you know how to do, and I rather focus on making more stories. I rather focus on um, creating more facets. I want to focus on building up the um, whew, that crick just hurt. I want to focus on building up the project, right? And then from there, I want to build other projects. This is why again the publishing company comes in because it's like I don't want to just do this one project. Like this is my baby, right? Like this is my thing, but I don't want to be stuck with just this one project. I want to do some magic shit. I want to do some. I want to do a purely fantasy story or whatever, right? I want to just make random fun um God, what do you call it? Homie games. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like cozy games or whatever. Like I want to do stuff that's just fun to do. You know what I mean? And so It all of it comes at the end of the day. It all comes together, and you just kind of say like, yeah, you got in order to get to those in order to get to those like levels of what you kind of like see yourself envision yourself into. You got to make the systems down here. Like you got to really build your foundations out. You got to really build up your fucking steps. You got to put together your system. So for one, again, building, evolving, growing, consistency, everything. So and I'm gonna leave it at that because I get the talking, that won't stop. And I don't wanna drag it on any longer than it needs to be. I guess it's just a short update. I'm not staying in. I'm about to dip out in a second here. Celebrate my birthday, like I said. You feel me? Do my thing, have some fun. But from here, I appreciate you guys as always, man. I look forward to this schedule update. I look forward to bringing you guys more content. I look forward to making more videos. So, from here on out, peace out. Appreciate y'all. Y'all been the best. You know what I'm saying? I'll see y'all next week.